I'll move on to my piece. I wrote, it's titled A Letter to a Struggling Writer, and it's also divided up into three parts. The first part is going to be a journal entry that I made on April 24th. I wrote this letter in this journal entry when I was in a very difficult writer's block. Sometimes I feel like I'm still in it, but the letter itself serves as a reminder to my beginnings and my roots. In some ways, it's also an open and loving letter to my parents and an ode to everything that Tehreer has taught me on the intimacy of writing. The journal entry. Someone asked me why I write today. I didn't know how to answer their question. How do I explain a choice that I didn't even know I made? My appa sees the whole world much differently than I do, and I'm so grateful to experience it with him. I want to hold on to my appa forever. I wonder if he would do this too, right when he felt that his heart was too painful and heavy for him to carry, right when the tears streaming down his face wouldn't let him speak. This is when I usually pick up my pen to write. I wish my words could bring back the panemaram, kade, totam, vayil, ade, made, and the valke, the life of my appa's childhood. I wish with every fiber of my being that whenever I watch a movie with a small, beautiful gramam, that I could close my eyes and for just 1 second, feel the breeze of a homeland. My words are powerful in other ways. As I write, my tears start to fade away and my vision becomes clearer. I write and my headache slowly dulls and the pain falls into the background. I write to clear my mind, maybe not to clear it as much as a life back home could have, but to clear it enough to find moments of calmness and stillness. I cherish that clarity. It helps me find meaning in unforgiving times. And I believe in my words just as much as I believe in my appa. With or without knowing it, he is the one who put the pen in my hand, and I intend on writing. And now, part 2, which is the loving letter for a struggling writer. I find myself asking many questions as I write. What is my work in service for, or whom? Why must I continue to engage in creative work outside of academia? What role does art play in revolution? How do I produce art that focuses on the community I am a part of? Am I part of a community? Am I ready to start creating? Hope guides my work and vision. As Huma mentioned, I'm completing a master's thesis where I write about Tamil Ammas that have had to build lives in so-called Canada following a difficult escape from the brutal violence of their homeland. I write about how this state too is implicit in harming Tamil women, how through policies of settlement and integration, this grand idea of Canada as a multicultural nation, in quotations, is achieved through the resubordination of many, many women. And one day, when I was reading in preparation for my thesis, I found a quote by the celebrated Palestinian poet, Mourid Barghouti. I tried to put the displacement between parentheses, to put a last period in a long sentence of the sadness of history, personal and public history, but I see nothing except commas. Displacement follows me into the conversations I have with Tamil Ammas. It follows me into classrooms and stages where I present. When I have conversations with families in living rooms, when I move to different cities, when I'm supporting my loved ones in hospitals, displacement follows. It rests quietly, like a broken memorial. It's a deep-rooted ache to be back home, one that no written piece can ever capture. What is home? When I look up to the moving skies from my seat in the car, I close my eyes and I try to feel home. Sometimes she whispers to me through all of the polluted colors. I feel home in the way my body remembers a past that is not mine, when my feet sink into the grass in my backyard, but my soul extends to the homeland. when I watch waves crash on large, sharp rocks, and I think of growing up near sandy shores in my ancestral villages. But mostly, I feel home when I speak to all of the Tamil ammas who share their stories with me. One of these ammas showed me her front yard garden on a Zoom call the other day. I cheered her on as she gave me a tour of her pumpkins and vegetables. We took in the sunflowers that were twice her height. Her excitement was infectious, and I still remember us giggling about how her pumpkins grew all across her front lawn. This project, this life work, was originally titled B-Longing. It was a play on words to speak to this intense feeling of longing that we experience, but may not have words to describe. The truth is, my life began way before my writing, way before my ancestors even touched this earth. My writing is intimately tied to land, the land on which my family was displaced from, and the stolen land to which I now occupy as a settler. It is informing relationships with both these lands, one that has nourished my yearning and another that has cared for my soul and being, that I continue to return to the care that both these lands have showered me with. This is part 3 in the conclusion to my letter, which is a very short poem I wrote based on the reflections from the theme of belonging for our final showcase. Land has given me a beginning. I have spoken and written and touched and painted and laughed and cried with her. The heaviness, the pain, the darkness, the joy, and the sun. I used to spend the summer days out on her grass, feeling my fingers sink into the soil and Mother Earth give away just a little. Thank you.